keeping the wheels turning. But the boss of this electric bike manufacturer in Milton Keynes says the wheels of his business are turning slower than they would otherwise have done, were it not for the UK's exit from the single market and customs union just over 2 years ago. That's due to new border bureaucracy.
Trying to sell into Europe, it's been much more complex than it was pre-Brexit. Really, it's a sort of market they could be buying online from us at the moment. It's easy for them to go online, place an order and have the product shipped, but at the moment it's simply almost impossible to fulfil orders like that. I'd like more to go into Europe now and hit Europe with a British e-bike brand, you know, and they'd want it as well. That's the irony of it. We get phone calls all the time of people saying, can we buy your bike? Can we buy your bike? And we just know at the moment it's just it's a hassle really to sort of try and organise getting in there.
Right, and it just gives you that thrust, it just naturally does it.
You can try it up and down there if you want.
Yeah, cool.
Get you on it.
Not every UK business has been punctured by Brexit, but evidence suggests the majority of those who trade with the continent, especially smaller firms, have. 2 years on from the end of the Brexit transition, and it's pretty clear from the business surveys and analysis of official trade data that Brexit has had a negative impact on UK exporters. So short of going back into the single market, which doesn't seem to be on the cards politically, what can be done to help firms like this one maximise their economic potential?
In the Portland Soft Power Index.
The Chancellor Jeremy Hunt says the government's plan for growth is made possible by Brexit, and Labour has talked of making it easier for UK firms to trade with the EU outside of the single market. Yet most trade analysts downplay expectations that there's much that can be done here.
But we're really looking at things very small and around the margins. So the big, if there was an obvious way to make things better, I think many of these steps would already have been taken. If you wanted to be really dramatic, you could try to align more British regulation with EU regulation and make some formal commitments that potentially could persuade the EU to let British merchandise in without additional checks.
I think we kind of missed the boat, to be honest.
Though one former advisor to Theresa May and Brexit Secretary David Davis says regulatory divergence, though in specific sectors like artificial intelligence, is the way to maximise the UK's economic potential outside the single market.
I think the real benefits for all divergence come when you look at emerging sectors and things coming down the line. So, for example, AI, the EU has taken quite a prescriptive and restrictive approach to AI regulation. And so there is scope for the UK to do something different, potentially attract firms that have a bit more freedom to discover the uses of AI, do research and innovate. And I think that's certainly the types of areas that really where divergence will start to reap benefit.
Morning.
Robots are delivering groceries in Milton Keynes under a special local scheme. But one of the frustrations of the UK managers of this Estonian company is that the UK government has failed to use regulation to encourage cutting-edge tech firms like this to expand in the wake of Brexit, specifically creating a national legal framework for robot deliveries.
There's a lot of opportunity on the regulatory side to help Starship, and lots of people in government have been talking very positively about it, but we just haven't seen the concrete action. And now is the time that we would like to invest in high growth jobs, in high wage jobs, which is what the government is asking for, but we haven't been given that confidence to do that yet.
So what exactly do you need to happen on the regulatory front?
The regulation is allowing companies like ours to operate our robots on pavements, crossing roads, things like that. Governments in Finland and Estonia have legislated at a national level. Half of the states in the United States, for example, have legalized delivery robots like ours, but the UK hasn't. And there's been discussions about it, lots of meetings, but no concrete action for many years.
In Milton Keynes and beyond, the economic opportunities for the UK outside of the European Union still awaiting activation.